It's an interview that sparked a massive storm. Can Narendra Modi ever make up with Muslims? And is Maulana Madni's interview the first indication of the cessation of hostilities between the Muslim community and between Narendra Modi? Is Modi untouchable no more? That's the center stage face-off for tonight. Joining me in the studio is Nia Mohammed Faruqi. He's the Secretary of the Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind. Nia Saab was present while we shot this interview with Maulana Madni. With us also is Kamal Faruqi, National Secretary of the Samajwadi Party. Joining us from Baroda is Asifa Khan. She is now a leader of the BJP, works very closely with Narendra Modi. She was originally in the Congress, shifted over to the BJP around the time of the assembly elections. Also with us from Lucknow is Maulana Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli, member of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. With us, one of Narendra Modi's staunchest critics, rights activist Javed Anand, General Secretary of the Muslims for Secular Democracy. With us also is one of India's leading political journalists, Shwapan Das Gupta. I want to go across first to Asifa Khan. Asifa, everybody is talking about this interview and what it really means in the context of Narendra Modi's relationship with the Muslim community. Do you think this is the first indication of a softening of stance, a cessation of hostilities between Modi and the Muslim community? How is the BJP seeing what Maulana Madni has said?
Let me first put across that the Vidhan Sabha elections in Gujarat itself gave a very significant signal that the Muslims are now voting for the BJP, and they have really approved the development model, the inclusive growth model of Gujarat, where the Muslims have been given equal opportunities. So that was a signal which we got in the Vidhan Sabha elections. We got it again in the municipality elections this year. And Mr. Maulana Madni really endorsing the growth of Gujarat, I think is a very positive sign, because Maulana Madni is a known figure in Gujarat. He's not new to us. He has done a lot of social work right from 1984 riots to 2001 earthquake to 2002 riots. And he has been there for years. His father has been there for years. So we really appreciate.
Okay, Javed Anand, Maulana Madni said he's simply stating facts. He's simply stating the fact that in the municipal elections that were conducted recently, in the assembly elections that happened before that, Muslims in Gujarat have voted for Narendra Modi. He says he's acknowledging and admitting facts. He's not necessarily endorsing Narendra Modi. Do you see this as a scale down in the level of hostility between the Muslim community and the Gujarat Chief Minister, Mr. Anand?
I don't find Maulana Madni's statement significant. So what's significant is extremely curious. We must remember, and it's a well-known fact, that Maulana Madni is on the one hand a religious leader, on the other he has high political ambitions. He wants to be in the Raj Sabha. His brother was a proxy for him in the Lok Sabha elections, last Lok Sabha elections. And I find the whole thing extremely curious because Maulana Vastanvi, as it happens, is a resident of Gujarat, unlike Maulana Madni, who is a resident of Delhi and moves on much more in North India than he does in Gujarat. Maulana Vastanvi was hounded by Devband, led by the Maulana Madni and his followers, etc., for having given a certificate for Mr. Modi. That Maulana Vastanvi was campaigning against Mr. Modi in the last assembly elections. Now here comes Maulana Madni with his statement, and I find it extremely curious. As far as the question of Muslims of Gujarat voting for BJP is concerned, psephologists have pointed out, when the results were out this time, that a certain section of Muslims had voted for Mr. Modi in 2002 as well. In 1995, when the Shiv Sena BJP government was in power in Maharashtra, in those 5 years, you could find portraits of Bala Saheb Thackeray in Muslim business offices, in certain Muslim business offices. So these are kind of people who kind of make do with these circumstances they find. Between what Maulana Madni remembered till yesterday about bail to Babu Bajrangi and minister's post to Maya Kodnani, Dr. Maya Kodnani, and Pota for all the Godra accused, and I can go on and on.
Okay.
Day before yesterday, there was a majority bench of the Gujarat High Court saying that the refusal of Mr. Modi to give scholarships as part of a national scheme is wrong.
Okay.
There's nothing constitutionally wrong with that kind of this thing, and we are, Asifa is talking about share of Muslim in Gujarat growth, I do not know.
Okay, I want to refresh our viewers' memory and play out what Maulana Madni said at the time when Ghulam Vastanvi who had at that time been chosen as the Vice Chancellor of the Darul Uloom, had come out and praised Narendra Modi. He said that people must look beyond what happened during the Gujarat riots of 2002. He also said that the fact is that Muslims have prospered under Narendra Modi, and that cannot be ignored. And it was in fact Maulana Madni and others at the Darul who'd forced first for Maulana Vastanvi to retract from his comments and did not allow him to take over as the Vice Chancellor of the Darul Uloom. Javed Anand says that it seems that politics is responsible. Mr. Niaz Ahmad Faruqi, you work with Maulana Madni, you were there when the interview happens. Javed Anand questions the timing. He says because Maulana Madni has political ambitions, therefore he's trying to build bridges with Narendra Modi.
Sorry, first of all, I would like to, first of all, invite your attention, particularly all the panelists, that your view that Maulana Madni has changed his view as far as Modi is concerned. It is based on reporting of the interview that has happened on your today and yesterday, or it is based on the contents of the interview that they have themselves heard. I am afraid that, and I can safely say that it is because of the misreporting and selective quotation of out of context sentences that such view is being formed. Otherwise, Maulana Madni, I challenge in his whole interview, his interview is quite different from what Mr. Maulana
Are you
Vastanvi
saying
had
that
said.
after having heard the interview, after being present there, you feel that there is no cessation of hostilities, you feel that there is no softening of stance, because very clearly, and that narrative came through all along the interview, Maulana Madni admitted the work that was being done in Gujarat by Narendra Modi. He also said that the condition of Muslims in Gujarat is much better than some of the other secular states. Those are facts that he put out. Yes.
You tried several times because you were interviewing.
Yes.
You tried to ask him whether condition of Muslims is better in Gujarat. Go back to your interview.
Yes.
Maulana Madni he insisted on this fact that no, I would not say that in Gujarat their condition is better. He said that there is no question of their condition being better in Gujarat, but I would like to say that in some of the states, I would say that their condition is still worse than what it is in Gujarat. So, see, the whole context is different. He himself is saying, no, it is not better in Gujarat. But you are calling it better, he is taking objection to this, and he is saying, look, in other states. So, just by showing the on some pretext, then he said, the criteria for finding out whether their condition is better or not, it is not only economic, but the criteria is justice. We have to see whether justice has been done with them in Gujarat or not. Go back to your interview.
Do you want me to play out some excerpts from that interview?
Certainly, but it should not be selective on that.
No, we'll play out some excerpts from that interview, Mr. Faruqi, so that people understand the full context. They've heard the interview. I realize that there's been a severe backlash from certain clerics questioning why.
There is no backlash. It is only you are making out backlash.
Let me come.
Okay, let me just play out some excerpts.
You can show it later.
Come on. Let me just play out some excerpts so people can see it, get a full sense of the tone, the context, and the manner in which Maulana Madni said what he did, and we'll resume our discussion in just a moment.
पर क्या आपके हिसाब से मुसलमानों का रुख बदल रहा है? क्योंकि हाल में गुजरात में म्यूनिसिपैलिटी के चुनाव हुए, ऐसे इलाकों में भी जहां पर मुस्लिम बहुल इलाके थे, यहां तक कि 90% मुस्लिम आबादी थी, वहां पर भी बीजेपी।
हाँ, मेरे ये असेंबली के चुनाव में भी मेरे इंफॉर्मेशन के हिसाब से जो हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं से हमको मिली वो ये है कि बहुत सारी जगहों पर ये उनको कुछ एक सेक्शन ने बिल्कुल वोट दिया है। तो हालात बदल रहे हैं, ज़माना बदल रहा है, तो ये तो है।
तो आप मानते हैं कि मुसलमानों का रुख कम से कम गुजरात में नरेंद्र मोदी की तरफ पहले से अब नरम पड़ रहा है?
ऐसा इसको इस तरह नहीं कहना चाहिए, लेकिन बहरहाल कुछ वोट लिए हैं उन्होंने ज़रूर, इसमें कोई शुबा नहीं।
क्या आपको लगता है कि इसकी वजह यह है कि उन्होंने विकास का काम किया है? क्योंकि अगर विकास ना होता तो
दोनों तरह की
मुसलमानों को भी नहीं लगता कि मोदी के लिए वोट पड़ना।
दोनों तरह की बातें हैं। कुछ लोग विकास की बात करते हैं और कुछ लोगों का ये मानना है कि अगर उसको वोट नहीं दें और दूसरे को लेकर के आए तो दूसरे वाले भी कुछ कम नहीं है, वो भी बड़े मेहरबान हैं। तो दो मेहरबानों में से किसी को चुनना है तो उन्होंने इस मेहरबान को चुन लिया, बस ये।
लेकिन हकीकत यह है कि अगर हम सच्चा कमेटी के आंकड़ों को देखते हैं तो हर पैमाने पर, चाहे वो शिक्षा का पैमाना हो, चाहे वो सरकारी नौकरियों का पैमाना हो, चाहे वो आमदनी का पैमाना हो, हर पैमाने पर मुसलमानों की हालत गुजरात में बेहतर है बाकी राज्यों से।
ये इस तरह नहीं देखा जा सकता कि गुजरात में बेहतर है, बल्कि ये कि कुछ जगह उससे ज़्यादा ख़राब है, जैसे वेस्ट बंगाल है। ये बात हम पहले भी कहते रहे हैं कि गुजरात की जेलों में जितने लोग बंद हैं उससे ज़्यादा महाराष्ट्र के जेलों में बंद हैं, हालांकि वो सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी की हुकूमत है वहाँ। तो ये फैक्ट है, कुछ कुछ चीज़ें हैं, सच्चाइयाँ हैं जिनको नज़रअंदाज नहीं किया जा सकता।
सच्चाई को नजरअंदाज नहीं किया जा सकता, हालात बदल रहे हैं, परिस्थितियां बदल रही हैं, ये मानना पड़ेगा. Now you have to essentially, each person will make of the interview what he will.
Obviously.
Okay,
No,
everybody has his
yeah.
own prism on Narendra
Yeah.
Modi. I think we played out the relevant
Yes.
excerpts. The message has gone out. I want to bring Khan
Yes,
Farooqi.
Rahul, number one, I have also gone through the whole interview, not
Yes.
now, even yesterday also, and I
Yes.
had given my comment also. Nowhere I have found, and I'm not here, I'm not defending to Mr. Mahmood Madani. Whatever he has said, he's responsible for his statement. But whatever I have understood in his statement, nowhere he has given any kind of certificate to Modi. Yes, as Javed Anand has very rightly said, that even in Maharashtra, you could see that there were the pictures of Bala Sahab in some Muslims shops. Likewise, in Gujarat, Muslims voted for BJP somewhere others. Even in Bihar, Muslims voted for somewhere in to the BJP. That does not mean. Rather, it is a very, very strange thing that you are not looking into this. That there is a fear psycho also. In Maharashtra, when they are putting Bala Sahab, no Muslim, no secular can have any love for Bala Sahab Thackeray. But poor Muslims were forced to have the pictures of Bala Sahab. Likewise, in Gujarat also, as far as Muslims are concerned, Muslims of Gujarat are left with no other alternative.
Okay.
For the 3 consecutive terms they have been there. Likewise in Bihar in some of these states, there was absolutely no other
Okay,
contestant.
that's an argument
we have
you've
to
made.
Be very fair about
I
that.
want to bring in Shwapan Das Gupta. You're making the argument that there is a fear psychosis in Gujarat, and if in the municipal elections Muslim candidates of the BJP win, it is because of the Tina factor. It's because they're petrified and therefore would not dare vote against Narendra Modi and the BJP. Mr. Shwapan Das Gupta.
There cannot be any certificate
Yeah,
for this.
one by one, Asif, I'm coming to you. I want to hear from Shwapan first.
Yeah. Look, Rahul, you can put any interpretation as to why certain people vote for Narendra Modi and certain people don't vote for Narendra Modi. But I think what is interesting about it is that does Narendra Modi have to depend on certificates issued by theologians, however well-meaning they may be, however pious they may be, however committed they might be to their religious causes? If you've noticed throughout his election campaign so far, Narendra Modi has always spoken about 5 crore Gujaratis. He has not said what so-and-so Hindus, so-and-so Muslims. He has always made this distinction. He has never made any distinction between Hindus and Muslims. Likewise, in any national election, I think he's going to talk about Indians first. That we have 1 billion Indians and they have a certain aspirations. Naturally, they include Muslims as well. Now, some of them may endorse what he says, what he doesn't endorse. So, to that extent, I think it's probably a case of over-interpretation to suggest that it is really Narendra Modi who is now going to switch tack and somehow depend on certificates from Deoband or from any other seminary to actually get Muslim votes. If he gets Muslim votes, it will be on the strength of his record, his leadership credentials, his development record, etc., as has happened in Gujarat.
What do you make, Shwapan,
why this is
of
going to be there?
Maulana Madni's interview? What do you make of the interview itself? Do you see this as a scaling down of hostilities between the Deoband and between the Gujarat?
It was a matter of fact. I think more than anything else, Maulana Madani, what he said was he once acknowledged a certain fact. Yes, Muslims have voted for for the BJP in various parts of Gujarat. He has also said that yes, you cannot single out Gujarat as being particularly anti-Muslim. If that is the criterion you use, there are other states which are far worse. So in other words, he is being talking about something else. Now that is probably the only implication from there you can possibly draw is
I just
that
want to say
do
one
not
thing.
necessarily create a demonology around Narendra Modi. He may be as good or as bad as anyone else. He is a politician. So we have to view him as a
I
politician.
want to bring
And
in
I think that's
Maulana
now
Firangi Mehli. One moment.
if that means selling down hostilities, so be
Less than
it.
15 seconds now.
Maulana Firangi Mahili, Shwapan Das Gupta says all Maulana Madni has done is state facts. That Muslims are voting for Modi in Gujarat is a fact. That there are more Muslims in jail in Maharashtra than in Gujarat is a fact. That the condition of Muslims is better in Gujarat. It's bad everywhere, but it's better in Gujarat relatively in comparison to some of the other states is a fact. So he's saying Maulana Madni is just stating facts. Why is it that other Muslim clerics are so opposed to Maulana Madni putting out the facts?
It is not a question whether we are opposing or supporting Modi. The ground reality is that development at the kind of genocide cannot be approved. Whatever Modi and his associates have done in Gujarat is very well known. And if a section of Muslim community has voted in favor of Modi in Gujarat, it does not mean that the same trend will be followed in the rest of India. As far as the hype created regarding the development of Gujarat is concerned, I think development is being carried out throughout India. It is not out of blues that only development is being carried out in Gujarat. As far as the clerics are concerned, I want to bring to the notice of Mr. Das Gupta that we are not interested in giving any type of certificate to any person like Modi or his associates. What we are trying to give a very clear message to the so-called secular parties also, that by creating a hype about the coming of Modi, it does not mean that you will be again successful in attracting the Muslim votes without doing any kind of development for the Muslim
Okay.
community on the ground level.
I want to now look at the facts. Okay.
Hey, that's a very significant message. That's a very significant message you're saying. That you cannot create a bogeyman out of Narendra Modi and say, intimidate and scare the Muslims into saying, oh, Modi's coming, so come and vote for us. So that's a very important message you've just
No,
now
we are
stated.
Okay, what I'm going to do is just go across to our big plasma screen and bring to our viewers some of the real facts of the situation in Gujarat. Our producers have looked very carefully at the Sachar committee report, and we're now going to take you through the actual condition of Muslims in Gujarat in comparison with some of the other states in India. And also take you through some of the facts and figures about the number of Muslims who voted for Narendra Modi. How Muslims in Gujarat seem to have voted for Modi in increasing numbers. There's data to suggest that between 2007 to 2012, there's been an increase in the number of Muslims who've gone and voted for Narendra Modi. Also in the seats where there's a large proportion of Muslims, Narendra Modi and the BJP's candidates have done better in the 2012 elections. Especially, let's just go past this, because in the seats where there is a substantial presence of Muslim candidates, the BJP has done quite well. We saw this most recently in the assembly, in the municipal elections that happened very recently, where even in constituencies where there was 90% Muslim population, the BJP candidates have done well. 2013, when the civic polls happened, the BJP swept over there. I want to take you through some of the figures for that. In Salaya, which has a Muslim population of about 90%, the BJP won in all those seats. There were 24 candidates who were put up. All those 24 candidates won in Salaya. They were put up by Narendra Modi and the BJP. Let's now take a look at some of the income comparisons. We're looking at 2005 Sachar committee figures. This is the average monthly income that we are looking at right now. In Gujarat, Muslims, according to the Sachar committee, have an average income of 875, whereas the national average is 553. Let's now come to the next parameter that we're looking at. This is Muslims with secondary education. In Gujarat, the percentage is 45.4. Muslims nationally is 40.5. Let's now look at the literacy rate. In Gujarat, the percentage of Muslim literacy is 73.5. Muslims nationally are 59.1. But the point, Asifa, is that if you look at these figures, you also have to consider the fact that Gujarat is a more prosperous state than several of the other states. When you compare with West Bengal, when you compare with Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat is a more prosperous state. So on most of these parameters, on education, higher education, on per capita income, the figures for Gujarat are likely to be higher than the figures for other states. So too much is being made of these figures, Asifa.
But the important point is that during the rule of Congress in Gujarat itself, minorities were not given priorities, neither was the minority given so many tickets in the civic bodies. And here the story is different. Narendra Bhai Modi is giving us an equal opportunity to contest local elections, and no wonder we have Salaya today, where it's a 90% Muslim dominated area, and in Jamnagar, the coastal area, where development and good governance was the point where people voted. The Congress fielded 7 Muslim MLAs in the assembly elections this December. And what happened? 5 of them lost to BJP non-Muslim MLAs in Muslim dominated areas, ranging from 60% to 40%, 33% Muslim dominated areas. What does this signify? It signifies that people pick up candidates who will give them prosperity, development, and peace.
Okay.
And that is why the Muslim MLAs lost from the Congress.
Okay. Okay, you made your point. I want to go across once again to Niaz Faruqi. The fact, Mr. Faruqi, is that Muslims in Gujarat have voted for Narendra Modi, even in Muslim-dominated areas.
I am denying it.
People have voted
this
for
is not the question actually. What is the problem? That we are putting the discussion out of focus.
Yes.
Let me tell you this, first of all, that this is the problem of polarization in politics. That you are either with them or you are either with us.
We have seen the
This logic, this is a twisted logic. This is not going to work.
Asifa, let him make his point, please.
Narendra Bhai Modi.
I am not a servant of Modi. That I am going to work for him, and I have vested interest.
It's not about service. It's not about service. It is about acceptance. Acceptance.
This is not a platform for propaganda or making work for Modi.
To speak about growth.
Yes,
Let us concentrate on the subject that we are having today.
Yes.
See, I am saying that this is the problem of polarization, that you are either with them or you are either with us. Now, Mahmood Madani, the gist of the interview, if you go, the main point that you infer from this interview, that today he has taken the courage to say that, look, I am neither with you nor with them.
True.
I am with the people. I am with the people of this country. I am with justice. I am with truth. How he has said this? That he has said that, look, if there is some problem in Gujarat, there is a problem in Maharashtra also. Just because of problems in Gujarat, we cannot justify whatever is happening in Maharashtra and Bengal.
So let me now.
And just because there are problems in Maharashtra and because the condition of Muslim is poor in Bengal, we can justify whatever injustice is being done in Gujarat. He has taken this view, and this is the correct view today, and he has challenged you that let the you decide the fate of this country in 2014. When this will not be the issue. This time the face of the country is changing.
Okay, Mr. Javed Anand, you cannot contest the fact that in Gujarat, Muslims have voted for Narendra Modi, and if that is where the riots took place, if that is where the Muslim community believes that they are okay with voting for Narendra Modi, the next question, which is the next obvious question, is would this extend nationally? Mr. Javed Anand.
In Gujarat is not a monolith. The
Yes.
Muslim community in Gujarat is not a monolith. The Muslim community in India is not a monolith, and that is a good thing.
Yes.
All Muslims all over Gujarat was not affected the same way. There was not gang rape of women all over the place. There were no chopping Muslims to pieces and then flinging them into fire like in Gulbar society and Naruda Patia. This also did not happen in every part of Gujarat. Plus, I have told you, and there is no question running away from the fact that a section of the Muslims did vote. But Asifa should also perhaps tell us that in the Muslim constituencies where she is saying that a large percentage of Muslims were there, part of the reason why the BJP won was because there were too many Muslim independent candidates who cancelled each other out.
You are wrong.
The next point is that, well, we can argue it if there's enough time. I can talk about it. I want to quickly go. I want to make two points. Rahul, may I make 2 more points, please?
You are wrong.
Now, BJP.
Rahul, may I make 2 more points,
Just
please?
one by one, please. One by
one
one.
to one
When
Rahul,
there is
may I
a
make
contest
one
between
more
two
point,
parties,
please?
and if one party fails, the other party is weak.
let,
That shows
okay,
that
let,
proves.
let me,
Rahul, I
let
do
me
not
put
interrupt
across,
One by
another
one,
speak.
one
Can
by
I have
one.
my
Let Mr.
clip,
Javed
please?
Anand make his point, please. Yes, Mr. Anand. Asifa, I'm coming to you. Don't hijack the
second point.
debate. Asifa, don't hijack the debate. Let others speak as well. Go on, Mr. Javed Anand.
I did not interrupt when others were speaking.
Yes, please.
The next question is, Swapan is saying that Mr. Narendra Modi talks of all Gujarat. I mean, we saw in the Sadbhavna Yatra how in a matter of 2 days or 3 days he changes headgear 20 times. There was one headgear that he will simply not put on, and that was a Muslim skull. So we know what kind of messages he's sending out and what kind of a projection he makes of himself. As far as such a committee findings are concerned, yes, they are facts, but these facts have to be seen in perspective. These are to begin with
Yes.
2001 figures. Two is historically in Gujarat, there's a vibrant trading community among Muslims, the Khojas, the Boras, the Memons, etc. So to compare them with Muslims in West Bengal or UP or whatever, it is not at all appropriate.
Okay, that's a compelling
They are
argument.
operating from
I
two
want to
different
get
historical
Shwapan
contexts.
Shwapan Das Gupta to respond to this, because Shwapan, the fact is Gujarat is a more prosperous state than Uttar Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh or West Bengal, and therefore looked at from any parameter, people in Gujarat would tend to do better, and therefore much can't be made of this argument that Muslims in Gujarat are better off than elsewhere. Shwapan.
Yes, yes, I think I would agree with Javed when he says that Muslims are not a monolith. Of course, that's a truism. There is a substantial trading community in Gujarat, which is extremely prosperous, which has been engaged in trade and commerce for centuries and really in the sort of world leaders in various respects. And therefore, I think some of the indicators, economic indicators, which are there for the Muslim community in Gujarat, as shown by the Sachar Committee report, albeit dated, are likely to be true. But I think the real point, which I think the only the only message I can draw is that the Sachar Committee report suggests quite starkly that it is scandalous that after so many years of what is called secular politics, after so many years of trying to have minorityism, we get this sort of results. So I think there is a compelling case now to disregard all these things about who is Hindu, who is Muslim, and talk about that. Isn't it a scandal that there are so many Indians who are illiterate, that there are so many Indians who have their economic status well below the national average? I think that's the important
Those are important questions.
Today we are missing the important point, is that today Narendra Modi is actually approaching the whole issue, is that what affects us as Indians, what is our religious faith is secondary and not important at all.
Okay.
We are all Indians, we all belong to have the same future. And as long as we keep that in mind, then I think discussions like this need not happen as to whether some cleric has given a certificate, somebody has given an indictment, somebody has said this, somebody has said something else.
Okay.
We're going to judge people about are they good for India or not, and that's really the message I think that should come out of this program.
I want to extend this argument. It's very clearly established by all our panelists that it cannot be doubted that some people in the Muslim community have voted for Narendra Modi in Gujarat for whatever the reason might be. I want to now pose the question, can what's happened in Gujarat be extrapolated and also happen in other states like Uttar Pradesh and in West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, other states which have got a strong Muslim population? I want to begin by first putting that question to Maulana Firangi Mehli. You also accepted there are Muslims in Gujarat who voted for Modi earlier. They thought of him as a pariah. Now they've gone out for whatever reason they may be, voted for Modi. Will this be replicated nationally? Will people look at what Shwapan is saying, the big national picture on development by the Modi growth story on development, or will they be bogged by what happened in 2002?
No, I don't think that Gujarat has developed only during the last 10 to 12 years. It has also developed before it when there were non-BJP government. As far as the general election is concerned, we think that the development will be the big factor as far as Muslim community is also concerned, whether it is UP or any part of India. And any party which will be working for the development of the community and development of the state in the country will be able to attract the votes of all Indian and also basically the Muslim community. As far as the religion is concerned, whatever Mr. Sopan Gupta has said, I think that yes, we are belonging to different religions. Some people are Muslims, some people are Hindus. So to say that we should not talk on the basis of religion, I don't think that it will be right as far as the religious communities in India are concerned.
Okay, Mr. Javed Anand, will people transcend religion, vote for whoever they believe can give them jobs, can give them development, can give them growth? Or will people look at Modi's record in 2002 outside Gujarat and vote based on what happened during the riots? Mr. Anand.
Well, as far as Muslims are concerned, there's development on the one hand, and there are dead bodies on the other. And these dead bodies have to be accounted for, and who are responsible for these dead bodies, who are responsible for the attempt to economically cripple the Muslim community in Gujarat. Estimated 4,500 crores worth of property was destroyed, looted or burnt in the same Gujarat. Gujarat, I believe, in the Muslim psyche nationally all over India has left a far deeper impact than the demolition of the Babri Masjid did.
Okay.
This is not going to be easily forgotten. This is not going to be forgotten and should not be forgotten from a human rights perspective and from a targeted communities perspective.
Okay, cannot be forgotten, will not be forgotten, and there's no indication yet that what's happened in Gujarat will be replicated nationally. Asifa Khan, that Muslims in Gujarat, for whatever compulsions they may have, realize they need to do business with Modi, but that doesn't mean their counterparts in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar will do the same.
Okay, let me put across a point. Everybody has been torturing, saying Modi ji did not accept the skull cap during the Sadbhavna mission. And Mr. Kamal Farooqi off and on has been bringing this on television debates. Let me tell him that he did accept the chadar, which is with the La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, the kalima written on it. And I think that is more important, more significant as a Muslim to all of us. And how many Muslim leaders from the Congress move around with skull caps? So please don't make it an issue. Number two, when we talk about economic development of the Muslims of Gujarat, my district where I hail from, the Bharuch district, let me put across, we are just 19% Muslims into that district, and yet the land endorsement, the land agreements and the purchase documents are 38% purchased by the Muslims of Bharuch district,
Okay.
which is again an industrial town. So where did the prosperity come from? The Muslims are really doing well in Gujarat, and that is why they are voting for a government which is giving them good governance,
Okay.
development and peace.
Mr. Niaz Ahmed
For
Farooqi,
the past 11 years,
will Muslims in
11 years,
other states
Gujarat
also
is
follow
riot-free.
what the Muslims in Gujarat have done?
See, as I said, the reason for the love or hatred of Modi is not economic. Let's be very clear about it. I mean, if you want to say that the Muslims, they hate Modi because of his economic policies towards Muslims, no, this is wrong. This is not the case. You are just derailing the discussion from its focus. I would say that the reason for Modi, that Maulana Mahmood said in his interview also, please go back to the interview, it is because of the fact that he took pride in the fact whatever happened to the Muslims in 2002. So this hatred towards Modi, the main reason is whatever happened during the communal riots and the injustice afterwards. If you don't cure this, there is no hope of any situation getting better. Or
so are you saying that if there was some indication of remorse, some apology, then attitudes could change and soften much further?
See,
I want to hear from
this is the natural and psychological that but it starts from Modi. It does not start from the community. Modi has to change himself. Then the reaction will come. We cannot forecast the reaction.
Shwapan Das Gupta, is it too much to expect a leader who refused the skull cap during the Sadbhavna mission to now come out with some form of a remorse? You know, he did mission Sadbhavna, but there was no indication of remorse. We're seeing Niaz Ahmed Farooqi say he seems to take pride in what happened. If there was some indication of remorse, would that help build bridges with the community further? Mr. Das Gupta.
I think it's grotesque to say that anyone took pride in what happened in 2002. It is grotesque to say that anyone took pride in the burning of the Sabarmati Express. It is grotesque to say that anyone took pride in the killings that ensued subsequently. I think there is a lot of nervousness in India on the part of certain people because Narendra Modi is looking forward. At every point of his political journey, he's been looking forward and taking people along with him on the basis of a forward-looking agenda instead of looking back. You look back to 2002, you look back to 1991, you look back to God knows where, you go back to 1947, maybe someone will go back to Mahmoud bin Qasim and the invasion of Sindh. You can't do that.
But
You
you
are
can't forget
talking
also
in
about
terms of a forward-looking agenda.
Okay, Mr. Kamal Farooqi, is that
Forward-looking agenda? And that is why people like Kamal Farooqi are today nervous, because they know that that vested interest of constantly reminding people of the Juju ban, that is being endangered. And that is why people who so-called human rights activists, they constantly talk about what happened in the past, what happened in the past. They have no interest, they have no stake whatsoever in the future of India. They just want to do, they just only want to do, they want to do post-mortems, they want to do post-mortems because they think India is a corpse.
Mass crime must be punished.
Must be punished. We cannot forget, we cannot condone.
Mr. Farooqi must come in. You've had your chance. Mr. Kamal Farooqi, is it that secular parties are worried because if more and more Muslims buy into Modi's development credo, the Samajwadi Party is out of business then?
Rahul, let me tell you, again and again you are talking about the development. The static says that even this so-called development, even Bihar, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu are ahead of Gujarat as far as the development percentage is concerned. But we are not talking about the development. What actually Javed Anand said, I 100% agree with. You cannot, I don't need that kind of development when the masses are being killed. And those 2,000 people, whether it was killed, Sabarmati, I have got the same kind of respect and grief for them also. Who has done it, that's a time will tell us. But after that, whatever has happened, under no circumstances, whatever you give us heaven on my one hand and give me that kind of killings on one hand, I will not buy this. And as far as Modi is concerned, let us come back to Mahmood Madani's statement what he has made yesterday. With all due respect to you and all due respect to the others, in fact, Mahmood Madani has nowhere said that it is going to have some positive impact in the rest of the country. As far as Gujarat is concerned, yes, and you are not repeating, you are not quoting what me and Javed Anand has said, that if Gujarat Muslims have done vote, or if a Muslim in Maharashtra has put up the photograph of Bala Sahib, it is, please understand psychologically why they have done it. The people must understand it, that the Muslims are betrayed about it. Muslim, and even as on today, Modi has got not the slightest remorse on whatever has happened. Might be, technically might be, it may not be possible that he was directly involved in Jafri case, but definitely he was the chief minister, and it was his responsibility to see that just after just a short distance, and he was murdered, butchered and killed. The chief minister is responsible for it. I hope, and let him not be the chief minister, because the kind of prosecution he has done it, the kind of people he has put in during the prosecution, everybody knows it. Let him not be the chief minister, then we will see what the results would be.
Asifa, very quick final comments. I'm completely out of time. Why does Narendra Modi not indicate some remorse? Why is there no indication of remorse, some form of an apology? That's a question that's being asked.
I really pity Mr. Farooqi for venting out so much of anger and bitterness against the government, against a leader who has controlled Gujarat riots for the last 11 years.
More than 2,000 people. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right.
You should not forget 11,000 riots took place during the Congress-run state of Gujarat, and you never said a word. You never say a word about that.
We will not say.
You should say 11,000 riots.
As long as Modi is not punished, we will continue to
from 1947, and you forget everything about it. And remember, just 2002.
Don't worry, even if Modi comes to power,
we agree. We support human rights. We are getting justice.
For the crime which he has
People
done
are being
in Gujarat,
convicted in Gujarat.
You have done it.
And see 1984 riots.
Forget
Okay.
about
You see the
84.
past history
Yes,
in
for
Gujarat,
84
11,000
definitely.
riots.
Criminals
Tell
should
me
be
how
punished.
many people are
Right,
convicted.
you are very right. You are
Why
very
do you
right.
forget
84
that?
right.
Why
Yes,
do you
the criminals
forget?
should be
I
punished.
really
The people
pity
who were responsible
that
for
you
killing
see
of
only
poor
the
Sikhs,
bitter
they
side
should
of
be released.
Gujarat,
But at the same time,
and
Modi
you
should
do
not
it
do
out of
that.
political motive.
Yes, you are right.
I really pity you.
We have to parallel 84 and 2002. Yes,
Okay.
84 should all be
We support
penalized,
human
and
rights. We
2002
support
Modi should
human
also be
rights.
hanged.
Okay.
If it all is being proved.
Okay, this is a very, very contentious issue. There
Yes.
are no
And-
easy answers.
and
Every
regarding-
person must
regarding
decide
the
for himself.
remote
You've heard, I'm out of
everybody-
time, please. Every person must decide for himself. You've heard Maulana Madni's views. What do you make of it? What are his compulsions? Why is he saying it? What has he said? What has he not said? Each one of us must decide. You've heard various points of view. Some agreeing with what he said, some disagreeing. You must decide at the end of the day, because that's what a democracy is about. Each person decides whether he believes there's reason to forget and forgive, whether there's reason to hold on to what happened. Each person must decide. To all my guests, Shwapan Das Gupta, Asifa Khan, Javed Anand, Maulana Firangi Mahili, and also to my two guests in the studio for joining us on the Center Stage Face Off. Thank you very much. Thank you.